500 people gathered for Peace Day 84. The event was sponsored by the South Florida Peace Coalition and featured a number of speakers, all with the same basic message: the need to convince world leaders of the importance of a nuclear weapons freeze.
I don't want to die from nuclear war because of somebody's neglect or just a little conflict between countries.
There's too much talk about the nuclear war. You know, when they start talking about something, it usually happens. So,
are you worried?
I'm worried.
Organizers say today's event was the largest of its kind in South Florida history.
Country renewing their pledges to the cause of peace. Many of them rallied at St. Thomas University in North Dade, and Eyewitness News reporter Vicki Frazier says they brought in big names to help their cause.
Florida kicked off Peace Day with veterans of the peace movement, recording artist Richie Havens of Woodstock fame and world-renowned baby doctor Benjamin Spock, who at 81 years of age finds nuclear arms the most pressing issue facing American citizens and the world.
I absolutely refuse to get discouraged, because I think that that's suicidal, no matter what your cause is.
Havens didn't perform for the 500,000 people he played for at Woodstock 15 years ago, but the sights, sounds, and feel of the celebration was the same as hundreds of individuals and groups set aside their personal differences for a day and formed around one common cause.
I personally believe in petition power over voting power, because with petition power you can change it tomorrow, not 4 years from now.
It's almost impossible to have a gathering like this in an election year and not find politicians and political signs all over everywhere. Well, that's been limited here today, unless you want to talk issues, one in particular.
Any of the polls will show you that the greater majority of people wanted a nuclear freeze. It's just that Reagan and his group are making policy dependent on a very small minority who are making money on arms.
I would like to see Mondale go into more depth in terms of use as the necessary steps to preserve peace to do in his administration.
I believe absolutely that the more we accumulate, the more likely are we to get into war, either through brinkmanship or through insanity or through accident.
Peace activists, including Spock and Havens, aren't satisfied with the things they're hearing from President Reagan or candidate Mondale, but they believe this movement can only get bigger, and no matter who's in the White House, this issue won't go away. Vicki Frazier, Channel 10 Eyewitness News.
NewsCenter 7's Anna Maria Bell reports on today's demonstration in Northwest Dade.
Children, innocence in its purest form. Yet many of today's little ones worry about something that was unknown to adults of other generations, the fear of nuclear war. This 6-year-old says she often dreams about it.
I see the good guy, the Americans and the Russians fighting.
Fighting how?
With some bombs.
The fact that children who are barely babies worry about that has peace activists concerned. It's one reason for peace rallies like this one at St. Thomas University. A special guest here, child psychiatrist Dr. Benjamin Spock.
You know, I think what parents can say to their children who are worrying, it's a possibility that the world will be destroyed, but it doesn't have to be if all of us who believe in disarmament will work for it.
At least 500 people attended this Peace Day demonstration, many of them members of 35 organizations that make up the South Florida Peace Coalition. Like this nurse, some felt it was their personal duty.
Just by changing the consciousness of one person, you're affecting the consciousness of other people.
They express themselves in various ways. Some loudly, some assertively.
We dropped the bomb first. We had the bomb first. And if I was the rest of the world, I'd be scared to death of the United States from that point.
These are typical everyday people outside enjoying the sunshine. And as each walks alone with his or her own thoughts, there seems to be a universal feeling here that the only gap that really matters is that of understanding between us as people, races, nations. And the people here feel that if we get together and talk more about our problems and try to close that gap, the world will be a better place to live. Anna Maria Bell, NewsCenter 7.